welcome everybody to another episode of the Eshlemania TV vlogcast here on the Eshlemania TV YouTube channel. We are in February now. We are officially in February. Yeah, it's kind of ugly out here. Lots of rain, lots of snow, lots of cold, lots of wind, and it's a mess. But a few positives. Football season is almost over. We got to see some really awesome rounds of playoff football the NFL had. And we know who's going to the Super Bowl now. We know it will be the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams. So that should be a good game. Looking forward to that. Two different teams, especially the Bengals, who haven't been there in, 30 years. So that'd be cool. Miss Amaretto, she's a big Bengals fan, so she'll be going nuts for that one. Best thing about the Super Bowl, though, is always the good food. We'll see what we have this year. I mean, who knows what we'll cook up on the Traeger. I think last year we did some chili, and I don't even remember what all else. But, oh, man, speaking of the Traeger, we have done some pretty cool stuff on that thing. The other week, we did a brisket. Found a brisket on clearance at Giant because it was about a day or two away from the sell-by date. Brought that thing home. It was like almost a 15-pound brisket. We trimmed it up, threw it on the Traeger, just walked away. We chopped it up. Some of it we chopped up later on that night. Had that for supper, and then after that we have one of those. Gosh, I can't even remember the name of it. It's a meat slicer, but it's not like a big commercial one. It's just a small one, for at home. And man, we sliced that brisket up. Oh my God, that was great. Nice and thin. Made awesome sandwiches. Better than going to the store and buying the store brand roast beef for like $15 a pound. So yeah, that was awesome. I mean, that right there was worth the price of buying that Traeger. Just amazing. And I say that, but then the following week, it was the AFC Championship game. Of course, I say to Miss Amaretto, hey, big game for the Bengals. You're a Bengals fan. You're going to be watching football. What do you want to eat while you're watching the game? And she said that she wanted wings and fresh-cut French fries. So, done wings a few times on the Traeger, but it was ones that were already bought from the store that were marinated, from the meat department at the store. And freaking wings are expensive now. And I don't know how it is for you guys, but in our area, they have limits on how much chicken you can buy at the grocery store. You go into a Giant or one of these places, and they limit you on how much chicken you can buy. But at any rate, went in there, and they had the whole wings. They had the split wings, which are just stupid expensive for what you get. And then they had the whole wing. That's the bigger one. Like if you go somewhere and you get fried chicken and there's a wing in there, that's what I'm talking about. It's like a 3-piece thing. There's the two parts that you would eat, and then that other part that's just like the tip of the wing that nobody eats. So I got them, and I know how she likes them. When we go out to a restaurant or a bar somewhere to have wings, she likes them deep fried. She likes them to be crispy. So I thought, well, it's probably not going to work too good on the Traeger. I mean, at least it could, but I just haven't done it before. So I went old school. I broke out the turkey fryer, and we fried up, oh gosh, it was probably about 30 whole wings. 2 big packs of them they got at the grocery store. We fried them up, and then, of course, after you take them out, the oil's nice and hot. That's when you throw in the fresh cut potato French fries. Amazing. If you've never done that, you fry the wings, or, it's a turkey fryer, so of course you can do the turkey in there, but, you deep fry something in it like that. Like your wings, your turkey, whatever. You chop up some potatoes, make the fresh cut French fries, and then throw them in that oil. And that meat juice, that meat grease is in the oil, and it just gives those French fries a completely different taste, and it's just awesome. You want to cook them until they get a little crispy. Then it packs in that flavor of the meat. Oh my God, it's so good. I love that. So that was awesome. But it just seems so weird. It seems so odd. It seems so different because we got so used to that Traeger where you just put the meat in there, you walk away. You set it to a temperature, you just walk away. Come back a couple hours later, your stuff's done, it's good, nice and juicy. I'm out there at this turkey fryer, and I gotta keep stirring the wings around. I gotta stir the fries around so they don't get burnt to the bottom of the fryer pot. The turkey fryer has the button on there you gotta push so that it doesn't shut off every so often, and so much going on. It's like, man, I forgot what it was like to be so involved with cooking this stuff. I just got so used to the Traeger. Put it on there and set the temperature and walk away, and just come back later. So, but it was all good. Like I said, the wings turned out pretty good, deep fried. French fries were amazing, and everybody was happy. She was really excited because the Bengals won. They're off to the Super Bowl. So we'll have to figure out what our menu is going to be for Super Bowl Sunday and start prepping all that and getting some recipes together. But yeah, so that's the excitement around here. Yeah, our food and what we cook. Everything else has just been, crappy weather and swamped with work. We've got a ton of automotive service work that we're working our way through, and still got the home repairs going on. If you've been listening to these recordings, then I've said about having the patio door project. And that's been a nightmare because it took forever to get somebody to come out to even look at it. Then because we have an oddball sized door, that was going to be a mess because they have to custom make a door. We have a patio door there. You probably heard me say this before. I don't want the stupid patio door again. I don't want a sliding patio door. I hate them things because they just get dirt in the track. They're a pain in the ass. I want a French door. I want something with a hinge that I can open up that's going to last a long, long time. That's fairly maintenance free and, serves the same purpose, except you swing it open instead of sliding it open. That's it. But of course, nothing is ever easy in adulthood. So we're still waiting to get that installed. It's been an ongoing project. They have the door, but the weather's so shitty that they haven't been able to install it. So we're waiting for that, and that's about it. Nothing exciting. We're just waiting for spring to happen, and we're waiting for it to be nice outside so we can get outside and rip and tear and run. So enough about that stuff. Now we'll get into what a lot of you people are here for, to hear about outdoor power equipment. And I'm not going to let you down this time because I've got some good information for you here. What I'm going to start out with here is a list that we got from our Echo distributor. And what is on this list is there's a note that it says about to maximize production of priority models in this region. The following products will not be available until further notice through at least August 2022. So what this means is all of the products found on this list, once the dealer sells out of them, the dealer can't reorder them until at least August of 2022. Now, this is a pretty lengthy list here of Echo products. And the worst part about this is this list is going to end up growing as the year goes on, because if these certain models aren't available, it's going to force people to buy other models. When they start buying those other models, you're going to see those get added to this list as they start to run out of them too. So I'm going to read down through all of the different models, and then I'll give you a little bit of opinions and information about some of them after we get through the list. So here we go. Let's scroll down through here. We got the GT225i string trimmer, the GT225L string trimmer, SRM225U brush cutter, SRM266 string trimmer, HCA 2620, HCS 2810, and HCS 3810. Those are all hedge clippers. PB580H, PB580T, PB755SH, PB755ST. Those are all backpack leaf blowers. Now, here's a long list. This is all chainsaws. CS2511P14, CS2511T14, CS303T 12-inch, CS310 with a 16-inch bar, CS355T, the 16-inch, CS361P 14-inch, CS400 16-inch, CS400 18 value pack, CS4510 16, CS4910 16, CS4910 20, CS501P 20, CS590 18, CS590 24, CS620P 18, CS620P 24, CS620P 27, CS620PW 24, CS680 20, CS680 27, CS7310P 24G, CS7310P 32G, PAS 225 VP, and PAS 225 VPB. That is the list so far. Again, you can expect that list to grow as the season goes on. But what I want to point out here is, it's not all doom and gloom. At least not yet. You got time to get out there to find some of the stuff at the dealers who have leftover stock of it. And there are some alternatives. The first one on the list, the GT225i. That's a curved shaft string trimmer with the I start, the reduced starting effort because it has the assist spring in there. You can go with the regular GT225, but if you need a model that's harder, if you need a model that's easier to pull, you can always go with the SRM 225i. It's going to be the same engine. It's going to be the same, low pulling force that you're going to have to put into it to be able to start it. So that's an option there. It's just the SRM 225i is a straight shaft, so it is a little bit longer. But again, there's some alternatives there. The PB580H, PB580T, yeah, that's a tough one because that's an entry-level backpack blower that a lot of people buy. A lot of residential customers buy that one. So that's going to be a big blow to the lineup. They are putting a lot of effort into trying to keep the PB9010s on the dealer shelves for the landscapers and the homeowners and farmers and all that with the big properties that need those big backpack leaf blowers. Now, they don't have the PB 2620 on here or the PB 2520. The PB 2620 was on this list. They were tough to get last year, but that's one there. If you can't get the PB 580 backpack blower, you might want to consider just going with that PB 2620 handheld leaf blower. It's going to be a little less money, and it's still a good solid unit. Just, a little less power. I know it's handheld, but still, you can get the job done, and you're not going to have to spend the money that you would spend on like a PB9010 if you don't need it. The chainsaw list, though, that's going to be the big one. That's a heck of a list there. Now, notice that they did give the models have the bar size that's included in this package. So, CS2511T with a 14-inch bar, that's on this list, but the one with the 12-inch bar isn't. So that's an option there. You might be able to find them a little bit easier. The CS310 with a 16-inch bar, honestly, I don't know why you would want to buy a CS310 with a 16-inch bar. The 14-inch bar is going to be enough for that thing. It's no powerhouse. If you're looking for something with a 16-inch bar, then you should just jump up to the 3510. Spend a couple extra bucks, get that CS3510. You're going to be way further ahead. So that's one here. It's on this list, but if that SKU, if that package disappeared, there's not going to be too many people that are going to miss that, Put the one out there, the 14-inch bar, and then the next option, the CS3510 with the 16-inch bar. That's going to simplify it for dealers right there. That's going to make everything easier. It's going to simplify it for the customer because they're not going to buy a saw they're going to wear out right away because it has a little bit too big of a bar on it for the rest of the saw. The CS 303T, I mentioned it. There's a whole lot of other top handled saws that Echo has. The CS 271, that's a great option. And the CS 355T with a 16-inch bar, that's another one where you can get that with a 14-inch bar. That's not on the list, so that's definitely an option. The 361P, you can hardly find them in our area to begin with. I mean, you could hardly find them last year because it's just an older model. CS400 18VP. Now, what that is that's the that's the CS400 chainsaw with the 18-inch bar, but the VP means it's a value pack, so you get it with the hard case. That's not available, but you can get the regular CS400 18 without the case. That's not on the list here, so that's an option. The 4510 with a 16-inch bar. Yeah, I mean, there's other options for that 4510. It's just the 16-inch bar version that's listed on here. The 4910, this is interesting because it's CS 4910 with a 16-inch bar, CS 4910 with a 20-inch bar that's on the list, not the 18-inch. So there you go. You're looking for a CS 4910, the ones with the 18-inch bars will apparently be more readily available because they're not on this list. I mean, not really a big difference there between an 18-inch and a 20-inch bar. I mean, when it comes down to either having the saw or not having when it comes down to having the saw or not having the saw, that 2 inches in bar length, I think it'd be worth sacrificing that to be able to have the saw and get some work done rather than not having the saw and getting nothing done. Same way with the 590. The CS590 with an 18-inch bar, the CS590 with a 24-inch bar. They're on this list. The CS590 with a 20-inch bar is not on this list. So that's an option. Going to be more readily available. That's the more common version of that CS590, the 20-inch bar. That's the one that the majority of the people buy. So yeah, I can see why they would make that one readily available. Again, this is the whole reason why they're cutting back on the productivity of these models is so they can focus on these other models that they sell more of. And that's why you're not seeing ones like the 4910 with an 18-inch bar, the 590 with a 20-inch bar on this list, because that's their focus. They'll pull those other bars off of those saws to put the more common one on there that they can sell more of, just to keep product rolling out the door and keep customers happy. Same way with the 620p. You got the 18-inch and the 24-inch on the list, but not the 20. So the 20 is definitely an option. So that's what we got going on with Echo. That's a lot of stuff. That's going to hurt a lot of dealers. Could frustrate a lot of customers, but we keep telling you, make sure to get out there. If you know you're going to need something, get out there and buy it now while you can find it. Because if you wait, you're probably either not going to be able to find it, or when you do, the price is going to be just crazy high. That's not specifically with Echo. That's with everybody. Every manufacturer right now. Every one of them is having this problem. Anybody who makes tractors, lawn tractors, they're telling dealers, hey, you're not going to be able to get all of them that you're ordering. We're going to have a shortage. We're hearing about that from every brand. We're hearing about that from all kinds of other dealers who deal in stuff that we don't. We've seen this coming for quite a while. We had this issue with push mowers. Once Husqvarna stopped making push mowers, that put a big hole in that market because they weren't making their brand. They weren't making the ones for a couple other brands that they made them for. And suddenly it was a race to find push mowers anywhere. And the guys that were still in it, they just couldn't produce enough because they had to take on that demand from all these people that all of a sudden didn't have mowers and were looking to sign up to start selling the ones that were still in business, like Toro and the MTD units and stuff. I've talked about this before, and it really hurt that market. Last year Toro ran out of Toro ran out of walk behind and push mowers pretty early in the season, and they're just like, yep, that's it. We have no more. Speaking of them, I've heard from a couple people that Exmark is telling some of their dealers that, hey, we're not going to have this stuff. There's going to be models that you can't even get and other models that, we're not sure how many we'll have and when you'll get it. Exmark. That's a big name in commercial mowers. So again, it's everybody. can't stress it enough. Get out there, whatever you're looking for, whatever you think you might need throughout the year, get out there and buy it now while you have a chance to buy it. If you don't see it at your dealer, tell your dealer that, hey, I want this. I want to buy one of these. Call me as soon as you can get one in. Get your name on any list possible. So, yeah, you heard it here. That's the list so far from Echo here in the Northeast of stuff that's not going to be available. Once the dealer sells out of it, they won't be able to reorder those specific models. Again, there are alternatives to them. Like we said, if you're looking for that CS590 with a 24-inch bar, you might just have to settle for the one with the 20-inch bar, so that way you get the saw and you can actually get some work done rather than having no saw at all, getting no work done. If this was like 6 months ago and we had the lists like this, which 6 months ago we actually did have lists like this, but let's just pretend. Let's just pretend we didn't know. And you're a dealer, this is a good time for you to say, hey, I can't get this gas-powered equipment. Maybe I better look into some battery-powered equipment, so at least have something to sell. And the models that are on here that are easy to start, it's going to be a good time to move people over to the battery-powered equipment. And I say that if this was 6 months ago, that would be a good option. It's going to be a good option now, but not as good. And the reason for that is the price on everything battery-powered is going ridiculously high right now. It's all going up. It's going up at a very fast pace, and there's a lot of it out there that still hasn't peaked yet. Here's the best way to put it. I had a conversation with a rep for one of the brands of battery powered equipment, and I said, I have a hard time advertising and promoting your equipment because your prices on everything are just so much higher than everybody else's. I'm not saying you got bad equipment. I'm not saying it wouldn't be worth it, but when a customer comes in and they see the price of your equipment and then they see the price of, say, something from Ego, I know which one they're going to buy. So I have a hard time putting the money into promoting your product knowing that it's just not going to sell. It's going to take a lot more effort to sell it. And that rep said, just give it time. He said, remember, all of our stuff is fresh. It's new. We sold out of pretty much everything last year. We changed model numbers and stuff like that. So we're sending in almost all brand new stuff this year. So that's why our prices went up, because it just costs more to build battery powered equipment now than it did a year ago or 2 years ago. So the cost reflects that. And he said, just watch these other brands and see what happens as they start to refresh their inventories. And sure enough, there goes the price on steel battery powered equipment going up. Price on Ego battery powered equipment went up a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if it does not go up again very soon, because all the other brands, they've been going up. And I love the Ego stuff that we have here. We have a few of the products, the power station, we use it constantly. I'm actually using the little Nexus Escape power inverter right now to charge some stuff while I'm doing this. We have string trimmer, leaf blower, hedge trimmer, that kind of stuff, and we use that stuff often. It's held up very well. So yeah, I've got no complaints with the Ego equipment. So I'm being completely honest here when I say this. Look at them and you look at the prices that they were selling stuff at before. Now they introduced these new products, the new misting fan, the new 10,000 watt 4-panel LED light, and a couple of the other ones. And have you seen the prices on that stuff? That is a very good indicator as to how things are going with the battery-powered products. Because, for example, that 18-inch misting fan, that is sold as a bare tool. No battery, no charger. And that 18-inch fan is around $280 MSRP for an 18-inch fan with no battery, no charger. That LED work light, I think the MSRP on that is around $150. No battery, no charger. So that gives you an idea of, you know, where this is going. Yeah, that stuff's not coming with a battery and a charger, but they've got to spread the costs for building all this stuff out across all the products, because they can't just put it on the batteries. If they put it on the batteries, nobody would ever buy a battery. You can't just put it on one or two products. If you can't spread the load out, the products that you're putting the entire load on, you're not going to move them. They're just going to be too high. And I joked with my sales rep from Ego, and I said that that misting fan, I was excited about that until I saw the price. I said, I got the power station at home. I'll just buy a box fan or two and plug them into my power station. And he laughed, but I can buy a lot of box fans for $280, and I already have the power station. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. It's definitely a good time to try to move that battery powered equipment. I mean, there's a lot of reasons out there to switch over to it. There's a lot of reasons out there to become a dealer and sell it. And it's going to become more and more popular in a lot of places, just because they have all the ordinances and they're passing all these new laws and regulations and stuff. But the gas powered equipment isn't that available, and the price of gas is still up there pretty good. And then the price of oil. How much of that handheld stuff are you running, the gas powered stuff that doesn't require mix oil? There's not too much 4-cycle handheld equipment out there anymore. A couple of years ago, that was the big thing. Briggs was making their 4-cycle engines for string trimmers and stuff, and a couple other brands had them. They didn't last long. They did not last. Now, that Honda 4-cycle engine you'll find on some of the models of Husqvarna string trimmers, that is a bad engine right there. Those suckers, it's Honda. So it's going to run, and 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 run, and run, and run. You don't have to worry about them. But these other ones, they just didn't last. They didn't hold up. I mean, they were on cheap equipment, and that's pretty much it. You have those Hondas on the Husqvarna equipment, and maybe 2 or 3 other ones out there that you can still find a 4-cycle engine on, but it's very limited. And other than that, though, you got to mix your gas and oil. So by the time you buy a gallon of gas, you buy the bottle of oil, mix that, you're talking like $5 or $6 at least for 1 gallon of fuel to put in there. That definitely adds up over time. And that's no different than it's been for years, but it's just now the price is up on everything. So it's something you really got to look at. It's something landscapers really got to look at. You got to take into consideration, if you're a landscaper, are these ordinances going to affect you, and a whole lot of stuff going on out there. So a good time to consider battery powered equipment, to look it over and just, talk to a dealer about it and see if it might be right for you, if it's a good option. Again, grab it now while you can, before the price goes up or before you just can't find it. So, other than that, power equipment, everybody's waiting for the lawn tractors to come in. Automowers, a lot of stuff happened with automowers this year. We've got a ton of stuff going on. Always have to plug our website, www.roboticmowerservices.com. But we also have to tell you that you might want to check out our YouTube channel, the Robotic Mower Services YouTube channel. Check that out, because we got a bunch of cool stuff that's going to be coming up on there, and a lot of opportunities to save some money and give your input on stuff. And if you're into automowers, if you're thinking about buying an automower, if you own an automower, you need parts or anything like that, you want to check out our website, and you want to check out our YouTube channel, because here early in 2022, we're going to get some stuff rolling to try to help as many of you guys out as possible, because we know what it's like out there. We know that prices are going up and everything, and everybody can just use a little bit of a break. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to give you guys a break on some prices on a bunch of that stuff, and that's how you're going to be able to find the deals, our YouTube channel and our website. So remember, the name is Robotic Mower Services. So I was just talking about websites there, and that's going to lead me into my last little story here that I have to share with you guys. websites and the price is going up on everything because a few weeks ago, I get a message from Miss Amaretto, and she says, "What do you think of this?" And it was a picture of a laptop, and I looked at it and I said, "Well, it's a Chromebook, so if you're thinking of buying it to use at our place, it ain't gonna work because our internet just absolutely sucks. I mean, it's terrible. It's bad when you only have one provider of internet in your area, and you call them up to get service from them." And they say, "Oh yeah, we have 3 different packages, depending on what type of speed you need, and blah 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 blah." And you say, "Oh well, I need at least the middle, because we need something reliable and we need something somewhat fast." They ask what your zip code is, and you tell them, and they're like, "Yeah, you only have the shitty service down there." And they flat out tell you that, yeah, you got the shitty service, because they know, and they're not afraid to admit it. So that's why a Chromebook would not work here. And I said, what is this for? Because I knew she already had a nice laptop and everything. And she said the oldest one, it's still here at home. She needs us for homework and stuff. And I said, okay, let's find something good that's gonna actually work, something decent. And we don't have any computer shops around us, so off to the bigger box stores for something like that. I go shopping, and checking out Best Buy because I've had decent luck there when it came to computers. And I'm scrolling down through and I'm like, oh my god, the price of these things is just ridiculous. And this is important, the story I'm telling. It's important to all you guys out there that are in the power equipment industry, because you might not want to admit it, but a laptop or possibly even a tablet, depending on what brand you're working with, has become just as important as most of the other tools in your toolbox now. Because so much of this stuff, you have to connect to a computer, or you should have a computer to be able to diagnose it, to monitor it, and to fix it. Some of the stuff you just need it to update software. A lot of the fuel-injected engines, do a software update the firmware. Same thing with the robotic lawnmowers. But anyway, so go on to Best Buy's website. I'm shopping, and I'm like, holy shit. So you don't want to skimp out, and you don't want to get the cheapest thing possible. And you want to make sure it's going to have decent memory, decent RAM, it's going to have good features. It's going to last for a while because you're investing a good bit of money in one of these things to get a decent one. And I'm like, holy crap. So I found a Dell, which I have 2 Dell laptops that I use for the automower stuff. I've had good luck with them, so I'm partial to them. I found a Dell comparable to one of the ones I use, and it it was more than I was expecting to pay, but there were so many more that were much more expensive than it. So, it's one of them things where you got to do it. She needs it for school, she needs it for homework, but I think there's too many people out there now that they'll go and buy something like that for their kid and just be like, yeah, here you go. And the kid just expects it. They expect to get more. They expect something better. They don't understand what it is, why they're getting it, or the value behind it. And understanding the value of stuff has been my big thing lately, because, oh man, every day we get into this whole ordeal about, people just want to do stuff cheap. They don't understand the value. They don't understand value. They don't understand what they're getting for their money. So I'm looking at this laptop. I know I'm rambling on here, but believe me, it's going to be worth it, to hear this whole thing through. I'm looking at this and I'm like, holy crap, this is a decent amount of money here. And Missy Amaretto is like, are you sure she doesn't have to have something like that? I'm like, she needs to have something that's going to work, that's going to last, it's going to be reliable, it's going to do the things that she needs to do, not just today, not just tomorrow, but hopefully for another couple years. So I told her, I said, hey, look, your mom said you need a new laptop, and I found one. It's a good one. And I have no problem buying it for you. But here's the thing. And I explained to her, I said, this is how much our mortgage payment on this house is every month. And then this is how much your laptop is going to cost. The laptop wasn't quite as much as a mortgage payment, but just for perspective, that's why I threw that out there. And I explained to her, I said, if we make one extra mortgage payment every year, that takes, this many years off of the entire time we have to pay on this house. So I said, this is money that I could be using, that we could be using to, put towards our mortgage. And that'd be less time that we have to pay a mortgage. But I said, we're going to put this money towards a new laptop for you. Not because I'm not saying this because I want you to feel bad. I don't want you to feel like you owe us for this or feel guilty. I said, I'm telling you this because I want you to remember that somebody thought you were worth it. I think that investing in your education and your future is just as important as investing in our home that we live in. I said, I want you to understand that. I said, every time that you're doing your homework and you feel like, oh, that's good enough, or, you feel like half-assing it, I want you to look at that computer while you're doing your homework and remember, hey, somebody believed in me, somebody sacrificed for me to be able to have this. I better not half-ass this. I better put more effort into it because somebody was willing to put effort into me and effort into my education. And so, that's the way I explained it to her. I think that's something so simple, so easy. You're not putting anybody down. You're not making anybody feel bad. You're just telling them that, hey, this is why you're getting this. We're not spoiling you. Don't expect this to keep happening. Don't expect it again, right away. This is why. This is why this is happening. And, build up some self-esteem. Make them care. Make them realize that this is important. And I think that because people don't do that, that's why we have so many people that just don't value anything. That they just think things should be handed to them. Like if they say, I want this, they should just get it. They don't understand what goes into it. Too many kids these days, they're walking around with newer and fancier cell phones than I have. Tablets and all kinds of other devices, and it's like, what the hell? Why? Did they need that? Or did their parents just give them that to shut them up? Did they do something to earn it? Was there something behind it? And the majority of the time, there's not. It's just, I want this because somebody else has it. So, okay. Or it's separated parents and it's, haha, I'm going to get this, to make the other parent look bad or something like that, It frustrates me. So we like to do things different around here. We like to try to, we like to try to separate from the herd. We like to teach people. We like to educate people. We like to inspire people. And I don't think by just giving them something like that and them not understanding what it cost, what it took to acquire it, and what it means, after it's purchased, that doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't give any concept of value of your time, your effort, or the item or whatever you're giving, So, that was my story there about buying a laptop. And, again, I wanted to point out that if you work on power equipment, you can't just keep saying, oh, this new shit, you can't adjust it with a carburetor, it's junk. That time has passed. That stuff is here to stay. Fuel injected V-twins on commercial zero turns and auto tune on your chainsaws, even fuel injected chainsaws now. It's here to stay. They're just going to keep coming out with more and more of it, and you're going to need a computer to be able to update the software and to diagnose most of it. So get over it. Get out there, shop for a decent laptop. Don't skimp out. Don't buy a cheap one. Buy one that's actually going to work for you. Because just like it was important for us to invest in this kid's education and have a good laptop that wouldn't fail her, wouldn't let her down, and it's going to last for a while, if you're using it to make a living, it should be even more important to you because that is going to be your livelihood. So keep that in mind when you go out there to shop for a laptop or any kind of electronics. If you don't know what you're looking for, talk to somebody who does. Plenty of people out there that can steer you in the right direction. Get a couple different opinions. So, if somebody's just trying to push you on something with a high price, or if you can get away with something middle of the road, stay away from the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, technology changes all the time, but if you buy something decent, you can get a couple years out of it. If you're doing this for a living, you'll be able to make enough money to pay for it in no time. It's going to be a tax write-off. Don't skimp out. There's just no reason to. And the other thing is, if you're leaning towards carrying any of that kind of equipment or working on any of that kind of equipment, just like the power equipment itself, get out there, get yourself a laptop now before they get scarce again and before the prices just double, triple, and quadruple, because that's the world we live in right now. So that's going to do it for this episode here. As always, we always welcome any kind of feedback, comments. You can leave them on the video. You can send it to eshlemaniatv@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys. We like hearing the feedback. Any questions you got, whatever. Again, eshlemaniatv@gmail.com or right here on the video. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. And please be sure to check out our Robotic Mower Services channel right here on YouTube. Just search for Robotic Mower Services. And we also have an Eshlemania TV website, www.eshlemaniatv.net. We're slowly getting stuff put on there. Again, we've been super busy and just haven't had a lot of time, but you can go on there. We have the Ego 2022 full line catalog on there. The Echo catalog's on there. I think there's a Simplicity catalog on there. So if you want to see what some of the new products are out there, we do have some of them on there, and we're going to keep adding stuff to it as we get time. But check it out. Check our Facebook page out, and that's going to do it. Thanks for listening.